Mama's old pajamas and your papa's mustache, falling out the windowsill, frolic in the grass, trying to mock the way they talk fun, but all in vain, gaping at the dapper men in derby hats and canes. That's right. From the Brands Hatch Motor Racing Circuit in West Kingstown, Kent, England, it's the Global Sim Racing Channel's Round 5 coverage of the iRacing Kamel GT Series. Now, either one of today's two car classes, the GTPs that features the Nissans or the GTOs that showcases the Audis, are deserving of a race all to themselves, but put them in a multi-class affair on a narrow track like Brands Hatch, and you've got a recipe for intense and frantic action. Action that you can see live as it happens from green flag to victory donuts right here on GSRC. Hello and welcome way up in the booth to bring you our Word's Eye View. Adam Lindgren, joined by yours truly, Bill Soups On. I'm Jed Yaman, has director duties today, armed with cameras locked and loaded by Dougie Beard. Okay, Adam, it was mentioned in the opening, but today's track of choice should present some challenges to these drivers.
Definitely, Bill. The Brands Hatch Grand Prix circuit is a 3.9 kilometer or 2.4 mile circuit with a surprising 9 turns. The reason I call these turns surprising is that most of them are unbanked, but are graded or changing in elevation. This creates extra complications for the drivers as they dive into the braking zones, having to modulate the pedal to keep from locking the tires as they enter the corner. This legendary racing track has been in service since the 1940s and has seen everything from Formula One to legend sports cars like these race here. The complications of this course include its high speeds and high angle turns, as well as extremely narrow track surface and the opposite banking in the final sector's sweeping curves. All of these things lead to an interesting multi-class situation. For the Audis, this place is understeer city, and I know I say that almost every week, but here it is by far the most pronounced. A gentle throttle pedal and swift hands will be necessary to survive the day, much less win. In the Nissan, it's similar, but more precision and guts are needed as you chuck the car into the turns and dodge careening Audis throughout the day. Each class will need to give way here to avoid costly race-ending contact, so expect some angry drivers when all is said and done. But let's cut to the action and take a lap around Brands Hatch in our GSRC lap guide.
All right, we've got Clayton McLeod in the GSRC Nissan, so let's do a lap around Brands Hatch. Paddock Hill Bend always presents difficulty in getting the car to turn in and feel stable. The car will compress at the bottom of the hill, and then you've got a passing opportunity in the braking for Druids. The uphill entry shortens that braking zone, so it'll be tough. But square off your exit and then switch sides to line up for Graham Hill Bend. You can use a fair bit of the runoff on the outside, but be wary of how eager you are with the right pedal. Along the Cooper Straight, you've got a critical corner approaching in Surtees. A late apex and keeping traction here will be important to finding lap time, since you'll be flying along Pilgrim's Drop for quite a while now. You'd think the high speeds would offer passing opportunities into Hawthorne's Bend, but this sweeper is so fast and there's so little braking that it makes it pretty hairy to attempt anything. Now we're into the unforgiving back half of the course. Westfield is a quick flick, and then feed the throttle back in and spot your brake marker for Sheen. This blind apex will undoubtedly catch a few drivers out and ruin some people's day. Then comes Sterling, which has a lot of banking and really rewards you if you can tuck it down in with some speed. Finally, there's a short breather on the run up to Clark. Let the car drift off to the left and then throw out the anchors. The rise in the middle will create some understeer, but try to get to the power as quickly as you can for the rapid run up the pit straight. And with that, you've now finished a lap around Brands Hatch.
Joe Peak taking us around another road course. This time it is Brands Hatch, a very tight track indeed. Equally as tight are the point standings. Let's go ahead and start by looking at the Nissans and the GTPs here. Justin Albright, he has a couple wins. He sits just a handful and a couple fingers ahead of Fabian Gerber. Now, Rob Olenek, he's got a bad result at Bathurst. There are drop rounds in this series. When those start to play effect, look for Olenek to move well up into the standings. Jordan Westphal and Nicholas Bercano round out the standings. In fact, Olenek and Westphal are tied for third. Adam, what do you got in the GTOs?
Yeah, the GTOs are just as close, if not closer. We have Reed Miller in the lead of the GTOs with 63 points. Franco Scurry on a charge recently, catching up to Reed, only 4 points back. That leaves Remigio Di Pasqua, one of our Milk Zoo Championship runners, 12 points back of them. So with Yoni Hagner 1 point back of Remigio, and then Roberto Di Filippis only 3 points back of Remigio. So, I mean, Bill, these points championships are really tightening up.
Indeed they are. You saw Scurry, Pasquale, and Felippis sitting second, third, and fifth. That's going to play into effect when we look down here at the Milk Zoo CTO Championship. This is for the Italian drivers. Franco Scurry sits at the top of the charts there with Rodrigo De Pasquale in second. Of course, we talked about Roberto De Filippis down there in third. The two drivers that didn't make the top five in the overall standings were Andrea Albertelli and Antonio Asediacano. They sit 13 and 18 points back, respectively. All right, we've gone through all the championship points. There's one last graphic to look at, and that is the race details. Adam?
Definitely. This is round 5 of 12 in this official series. That means you can race this if you so choose. You just got to show up on time for a 10 a.m. start Pacific Standard Time or 1 p.m. start Eastern Standard Time, and that's before daylight savings. It's 40 minutes, and they got open setup, so you can set up the car however you like it. But you have no fast repairs, and fortunately, you also have no incident limit, so it's just on you and your safety rating as to whether or not you rack up incidents around these tracks.
Qualifying is going on right now, and our points leader, Justin Albrecht, sits at the very top of the GTPs with Yanni Hagner in the Audis, about 0.2 of a second faster than Phil Lake.
Yeah, Yoni's doing a really good job right now locking out that time. He's actually on his second lap right now trying to get a faster lap time, but everyone's putting in some pretty respectable lap times right now. What I'm surprised about is to see Reed Miller 3.5 seconds off the pace. That's actually quite surprising considering he's in the lead of the championship right now. This might not be a track that he prefers, Bill.
You talked about Phil Lake sitting second, of course. If there's bad luck to be found, in and around the lake, we'll find it, as Philip has been a fallen victim to some misfortune, a lot of times not of his doing.
Yeah, Phil has had some bad luck this season, especially in the last couple of rounds, so he's just trying to find himself a little bit of success, a little bit of win. But it looks like he's struggling a little bit with the setup right now. He's a little loose going in and out of the corners, so this is going to be a difficult one for him.
Phil's going to take a little break right now. You know, the track is difficult enough. I talked about it if it was single class racing. very, very narrow track. You start to put in multi-class racing where you have the faster Nissans trying to get around the Audis. It's going to heat up with about flat 5 or 6, we figure, huh?
Yeah, definitely. It's gonna this multi-class action is gonna get really intense between the Audis and the Nissans. These guys are gonna make it very difficult for each other around here. As we see Martin Krajcik coming across the line, that improves a full second over his last time, but that's only good enough for 7th place. So Martin a little bit off. That's Antonio RC Diacono coming across the line now. He's not going to improve over his last lap time. So as qualifying's wrapping up, these lap times starting to rattle in.
Some tracks that are draft related, the qualifying really not that important as you're able to this slingshot around the drivers that are ahead of you. Not the case here at Brands Hatch. Passing is going to be at a minimum, at a premium, and you want to get yourself the best qualifying spot as you can. So we look at Daniel Sadro.
It looks like David Soibadi is the only one left on track right now. He's coming across the line soon. And yeah, I mean, track position is really, really vital around here. He has not put in a fastest lap yet, so this might be his first chance at a timed lap. And no, he had an off track during that one as well. So he's going to be starting from the back of the GTOs.
About 15 drivers in that class. Hugo Solbialdi will be way at the back, along with Pablo Rangales back there, as well as Israel Alonso, not able to put in a qualifying time. 34 drivers signed up for the session. 12 of them in the GTP class. Donald Peak racing with us today, the slowest of the GTPs in the Nissan.
Yeah, Donald Peak, not a great time from him, but at least he set one. I mean, some of these drivers are struggling with that. It's really easy to get off tracks here, Soup. It's just one of those things that makes it really difficult around this track is just how tight the confines are. And the curbs help you out on exit, like you're seeing here from Christian Scarcia. And that makes it easier, but at the same time, it's just extremely difficult to keep these cars on track. There's just grass right out there past that painted white line. And if you get onto that, you'll find yourself in the barrier real quick.
Garcia, who is definitely a competitor here, always races near the front, trying to get in a good time. Talked about Don Peak. He's about 7 seconds slower than Albrecht, the pole sitter in the Nissans. As a traditional back marker, I always worry about racing in the fastest class. My fear is that my slow time in the fast class will not be as fast as the pole sitter in the slower class. Peak does not have to worry about that, as he's a good 5 seconds to the good of Hagner in the GTOs. Qualifying just about done. Can we take a quick peek at the weather real quick before we go to the grid, see what we're dealing with here in England? Ooh, very comfortable. Looks like comfortable for the fans, comfortable for the drivers as well.
Yeah, definitely. It's not going to be adverse track conditions today, but that wind at 9 miles an hour, that's a little stiff. So that should be upsetting the GTPs when they get into their braking zones. The Audis probably won't feel it that much.
All right, looks like everyone's put in a time that's going to put in the time. So as we take a view of the racetrack from above, let's go ahead and look at our starting grid right now. And it is indeed Justin Albrecht who's going to sit on the pole inside of Les Chiamola. In the second position, Fabian Gerber and Tobias Gerber, a pair of brothers, sitting third and fourth. Nicholas Meccano in the fifth position with Arto Iamaki in sixth. The next row is populated by Martin Krajcik. A little interesting to see him so far back with PLS, Pablo Lamberta Suarez back there in eighth position. Johnny Bell and Nicholas Morelli go ninth and 10th with Robin Stevenson and Donald Peak in the final row of the Nissans. Adam?
Starting off pole in the GTOs is Joni Hagner. Another pole for him. Good starting position. Alongside him is going to be Jamie Hall, making a nice run for him. Philip Lake's going to start in that third position, being separated by Jamie from Joni Hagner. Then Franco Scurry starting alongside him. Fifth is going to be Reed Miller. With sixth is Tomas Valchik. And then we have Giossi Leocada in seventh place with Nico Arviliomi, in sixth place. Then seventh is going to be Daniel Sadro, with Remigio De Pasqua starting off in eighth. Roberto Di Filippi is going to start off ninth, with Christian Scarsa rounding out the top 10. Then we have Antonio Arce Diacono, Carlos Fonseca, Lucio Distillery, Michael Haynes, Simo Raba, Cedric Boyle, David Slobati, and then Pablo Rangel and Israel Alonso's rounding out that GTO field, and then Laust Olsen, as we saw before, did not set a time in the GTPs, so he'll be starting from the back of their class.
Hopefully Laus will be out there racing. I feel sorry for you. We get the same GSRC commentator's bonus for getting through the grid, but you had to work a lot harder there with a larger grid and a lot of Italian names to talk about, as we have an extra championship there that's specific for the Italian drivers.
I'll be honest, I'm not complaining, Bill. It makes these races so much more exciting and so much more fun for the drivers as well. Having a big grid for this crazy multi-class series makes things really exciting.
All right, Joe Peak took you around in the video guide. We'll get to do it live this time. Now that's Paddock Hill Bend. Watch out for that, as that's a kind of decreasing radius. You'll see a lot of drivers go off into the sand. Here's an interesting passing zone down into Druids. This will be an action corner lap number 1. Hopefully we'll stay with the Nissans till they get there, and then we'll go back and look at the GTOs and follow them through that sharp right-hander.
Yeah, Bill, I'd expect that we're going to have some GTOs off track through the first turn. I think that's going to be one of those places where people are going to struggle. That sharp right-hander, the hairpin, that's going to be a place of contention for sure, but I would expect the GTO field, because of the downhill right-hander at the beginning of the lap, to be pretty strung out at that point.
Well, I've been racing on iRacing for, I don't know how many years now, I guess 10? I don't know how long it's been around, but I'm still looking for the apex there in that corner. I cannot find it. Now, the long back straight here. A passing zone down into Clark's Curve. It is a sharp, about a 90-degree right-hander. You'll see a lot of action. If you don't make the pass here in this sweeping 90-degree corner, it's going to be hard to get much done as they head down into the Dingledale, which was really a tough part to do. You can see the foliage there here in the England countryside.
Yeah, these GTPs are going to be struggling with all these 90-degree corners. It's going to put them down into the low revs, which can induce wheel spin if you're not careful coming up the corner, especially with the turbo lag that these Nissans have to deal with. We talk about it every week, but it's something to remind the viewers of, is that these guys aren't just planting down the power in the Nissan GTPs. They're having to feather the throttle to make sure to wait for that turbo to spool up before they unleash the power, and to make sure that those rear tires don't spin. The Audis do not have this problem. They have four-wheel drive, which means they can slam down the pedal and the car will seemingly drag itself out of any corner. But that four-wheel drive has the alternate problem of creating understeer. So these Audis have trouble with getting turn-in to work. So as we watch the GTP start, keep those in mind.
Yeah, they're at the chicken steak, covering on the cows. The horses are out of the barn. Justin Albright gets a great jump as they head down into Paddock Hill Bend. Let's stay with these guys until they go down into Druids, and then we'll drop back to the GTOs. Albright's going to get down in there first. Here they start to bang. They boggle up. So far, everybody is through. It looks good. Let's go to the GTOs. Adam.
Yoni Hagner got a fantastic start with Phil Lake coming in second behind him, making a good pass. But as they come through this downhill right-hander, everyone keeping it clean. But as we get up to this hairpin, we have three wide in multiple places around this place. Everyone taking risks right now in this first lap because they know how important that track position is, Bill.
Reed Miller's getting the worst of it. He's being passed by two cars. Avalomi gets around him, and also before that, it was Thomas Valsik. So Miller now back several positions, racing in about fifth in class.
And that's Phil Lake trying to get around Jamie Hall, who's locked up the second position now. Phil Lake unable to do so as they go through these corners. Looks like he's trying really hard though, but he's going to stay behind his Dirty Torque teammate. But man, Jamie Hall not able to find the apexes right now. He's blowing really hard through those corners, getting Phil Lake a good opportunity.
We ride on board with Lake looking up. I can just announce that the Nissans have completed lap number 1. Albright gets credit with leading that lap. Iloma behind him with Gerber and Gerber. It's Fabian ahead of Thomas, rounding out your top 5. Makanos. Makanos in a battle with Maki right now, the Finn driver trying to move up a spot.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
Arno's been pressuring him for the whole opening lap right now, and he's losing time to Tobias Gerber and Mechanos. And Mechanos, as we know, a transplant over from the GTOs from last season, so he's still trying to find his footing in these GTPs. Been doing a good job recently, but his championship contender, Rob Olenek, is off in Florida on vacation, so good wishes to him right now. But we're not going to see those two battle on tracks, so good to see Mechanos in a battle with another contender today.
We talked Olenek had the bad Bathurst result and now taking a vacation, burning up those drop races early. Pretty much single file in the Nissans as they sort their way through.
Back in 6th place in the GTOs, Reed Miller is struggling on pace. He is really under pressure from Arviolomi and Gioesi, the Okada, and Lokata getting past Arviolomi because he missed a shift. A missed shift is going to lead him to have some serious problems as we see the fastest lap coming in from Oloma, but that allows Reed Miller to snake away just a little bit right now.
Leocato got him as well as Daniel Sadrov. So Avalomi dropping back more positions.
Oh man, it looks like Christian Scarcia has gone off track. That's allowed RC Diacono and Carlos Fonseca to battle one another, and Fonseca making a good going off track there and getting passed by RC Diacono.
No multi-car incidents so far. A few mistakes from drivers, but relatively clean. And we think it might stay clean for a while until the wrap traffic comes around.
Yeah, the traffic's going to make things really complicated, but the race is starting to even out a little bit. Looks like everyone is kind of funneling out to the positions where they belong right now. So everyone in good positions right now. Justin Albrecht with about a second lead, but that can disappear very quickly over Alexia Oloma. And then we have Fabian Gerber behind him, less than a second as well. So this battle for the GTP lead is not done.
Yeah, those front three holding station. Fabian beginning to pull away from Tobias Gerber, who's trying to stay with the front three. No real movers in the Nissan. Can we look at the driver currently in 8th position, Nicholas Morelli? He's the only one that's picked up major positions, up a couple spots from 10th to 8th. He's got around Suarez and Bell.
Yeah, Morelli's been doing a good job at the beginning of this race. He's had some good consistency, and he's been able to take advantage of some of the mistakes that the other GTP drivers have made on that opening lap.
Better go to P2 in the Audis. This is Jamie Hall under attack from Phil Lake. They head down into Paddock Hill Bend. This is the where you got to watch out as the track falls away from you. Both those guys manage it well. Now they go into Druids.
Now, Bill, I know that they're teammates, but you can tell that Phil Lake is being held up by Jamie Hall. You know he wants to get up there and fight with Yoni Hagner, but he doesn't want to wreck his teammate. Is this one of those moments where you give up some team orders and you say, Jamie, I really need to get by, buddy?
Yeah, it might be the case. Lake clearly looks faster than Hall right now. The Hall doing a good job of hanging on the back of Hagner. Hagner's not going anywhere, only 7/10 of a second ahead as they go down the back straight, heading toward Clark's curve. This might be an opportunity for Lake to make a move. He's about 2 car lengths back, does not pressure his teammate, though.
And while they're not being pressured, the leaders have actually caught the back of the GTOs, considering some of them are having trouble. So Justin Albrecht, Alexia Loma, Fabian Gerber, all snaking through the back of the GTOs right now. They're all going around Pablo Rangel, and they're going to catch up to Christian Sgracia very soon.
Let's get a quick replay of car number 30, Antonio Asiamano. This was a great battle going into Clark's corner, and it continued for a while. It all settles down. Watch this pass being made here. We'll be allowed this, so you got to go down this long back straight here. Watch the pass. They come around. They are side by side. I think they actually make contact going off in the grass. They get it sorted out. It continues.
Yeah, and Director, if we can actually stay with this, there was contact in the next corner after that as well.
So they get around there. Then it's the up and under here. And watch it on from back behind. That, I believe, is Scarassia. And look at this. They go off, and there's the big contact.
Ooh, that looks a little personal to me. And it looks like RC Giacono's just kind of a wrecking ball right now. He just made more contact with Scarassia.
Sure did.
Very unhappy. Oh, and they've wrecked each other. That is for sure a wreck. If we could go back live right now, they are off track at the moment.
This all started in Paddock Hill Bend. Scarassi was on the outside. RC Diacano went through the, kind of give him a bump off and down into Druids. Watch this. Watch the car.
This is armed and ready and firing that missile. Watch this happen, boys.
Stay on this, director, because it's a long one. Here's the first contact. And then, I don't want to say you be the judge, but it looks like might be a little payback here. Boom. Let's
Just
just say
a
he
little
missed his
bit.
brake. Yeah.
All right, so while we've been taking a look at that, we have had pretty much no developments. Everything's still more or less the same up at the front of the GTOs and the GTPs, but the GTPs are really going through traffic right now, and it's starting to make them struggle.
Albrecht is getting the best of traffic as he's opened up a little bit more of a gap on Iloma. Iloma right now stuck behind the Okada as he's trying to find his way around. The Okada does his best, but they get a little bit of miscommunication. And look at this. This is going to let Fabian Gerber, right in the mix. He's on a good run right now.
Yeah, Leo Okada
Traffic in front.
was trying to get out of the way, but in these GTPs, the closing speed is such that you do not want to get out of the way. You just want to race your racing line. Reed Miller getting out of the way as well, but Iloma's really struggling to figure out where the GTOs are going to be through these corners, allowing Gerber to sneak up right behind him.
He does a good job of letting those two guys go by. Boy, getting a little loose as Iloma right now. They're going to be coming up on Valsic in a minute.
Oh, Tobias Gerber has gone around, and Ardo Iamaki, the two of them have gotten together.
I think it starts from a couple GTOs that got Sadro got together with Avalomi. They get together in front. You know, it wasn't Sadro's fault. It was Mercados that gets into Sadro that starts the whole thing. Mercados turns them. And then the next GTPs pay the price.
That is one of the most terrifying wrecks you can experience as a driver approaching that. That is a horrible, horrible wreck. We're going to go on board right now. Take a look at this from Meccano's, sorry, that was not Meccano's. This is from, oh my goodness, Ardo Iamaki didn't even see it coming.
Yeah, you just don't expect to have that happen at that part of the track. They're going straight. Mercados was really aggressive trying to get through the traffic. We told you it was
Fabian
gonna
Gerber
happen.
is going, oh no! Fabian Gerber went on Alexia Loma and sent him around.
Loma goes off into the barricade there. Again, this is Clark's corner. We knew this would be the action corner. That GTO driver in front of him, that was Yanni Hagner.
That was the leader in class GTO, and Aloma was just trying to back off a little bit to let him by, to make sure that he didn't run into him into the corner. Fabian was going for a pass there, and they just came together just barely.
You know, it is just the nature of the track. It's just, you're asking so much of these guys to keep it clean, and they're doing the best they can. That gives Albright a big cushion now, 4.5 seconds back to Fabian Gerber.
Well, Bill, you know, I said that there was going to be some unhappy drivers after this race, and I stand by that for sure. I think that there are going to be quite a few people who are not happy after this one. We have quite a few.
Mercados was in third. Coming out of Druids, you talk about that, the turbo lag. I think it got him here as he loops the car around, trying to get the power down. Then he tries to back it up. Stay with the director here as he tries to get the car back out and has a little trouble, and that's not going to help.
Yeah, that's frustration coming out from Meccano's. I think that he's frustrated at himself for that incident that happened before, and now it's just being compounded. The pressure's starting to get to him a little bit, and you know, it really takes a cool head to drive a GTP. Nick Meccano's usually is a cool head, but when you get involved in an incident like that and you cause that guilt can sit with you and it can take your mind out of the game. And it looks like Nick is just succumbing to the pressure a little bit.
So just ahead of Mercados now, we talked about it, is Martin Kreitscherick. I thought he was a little farther back in qualifying. He qualified 7th. He's worked his way now up to 3rd. He's a long way from the front two guys, but he's got a long way back to Mercados, whose car is not going to be as fast after the accident that he just had. So Kreitscherick sitting in 3rd.
Yeah, it shows how much trouble these GTPs have had, that Martin Krejcik, having a poor qualifying, starting way well back in the field, has gotten up to third, but he's 23 seconds behind Fabian Gerber. So that's just showing how big of a gap there is right now, and all that is due to contact and traffic.
So with the GTP settled down, let's go back to the GTO leaders here. Hagner not able to pull away and continuing to stalk his teammate is Phil Lake. Lake cannot get around Jamie Hall. The gap does not really increase that much.
Yeah, these guys are not going to have a pit stop today, so everyone's going to take care of their tires, and fuel's not going to be an issue, so it's just going to be tire management around this track for the GTOs, especially because of how much they slide through these corners. Martin Krejcik closing in on Phil Lake right now, going to make a pass through on the inside there and get between him and Phil Lake. Him and Jamie Hall. But yeah, it's just going to be tire management for the GTOs, and whoever has the best stuff at the end is going to be able to make significant progress. Oh boy, Jamie getting extremely loose there.
Let's stay here for a bit, and let's go back and look at Nicholas Mercanos, because he's coming up on these guys as well. He's going to catch them down into Paddock Hill Bend, and then they'll see if he makes the dive down into Druids. He's going to be able to get Lake.
This is where Mercanos got his wheel spin last time, so he's going to be a little tentative off this corner.
And as Krejcik went around Hagner, that really slowed Hagner down. That's going to bring Hall back into the mix. Hall's right there now. He does not want to give up any time, as this is the closest he's been to Hagner in a long time. He lets Mercanos through. Oh! Mercanos almost gets into the back of the GTO leader. Woo-hoo-hoo.
Yeah, I can report that Franco Scurry got sent around by one of the GTP cars coming off of Paddock Hill Bend.
Don Peak in the little bit late in the fluorescent blue.
When we come back out of this, the leaders of the GTPs of the GTOs have been wrecked.
And again, you know what happened is we come back, we're going to look at it. It all starts with Mercano spinning in front of Hagner. That's what slowed Hagner up.
Oh my goodness, it looks like Franco Scurry just got turned there.
All right, so we saw the Peak and Scurry vision. Now look at this. Now look ahead of Hagner. You'll see Mercanos will spin in the GTP. Watch the Nissan spin right in front of Hagner. I think Hagner checks up. There's the spin. And there was no way for, I guess it was Hall that got into the back of Hagner.
Well, you know how I said Phil Lake was having bad luck?
He gets two.
He gets 2 for 1. And this is nothing to do. Oh my goodness. So it looks like Franco Scurry was braking for the accident. Jamie Hall was tucked up behind Scurry and didn't see it. And so he just runs into the back of Joni Hagner. And so that allows Phil Lake to get away. And now with Jamie Hall with front end damage, that's going to cause significant issues for him in trying to catch Phil Lake now.
You saw Lake squirt through the middle there. There was nowhere for him to put the car. Great racing by Phil Lake. And we talked about misfortune. Well, he's doing okay right now. Let's go to Lake. As we look at here, here's Mercados behind him. Mercados has been the action driver all race. See if he can negotiate this one. He's trying to chase Laus Olston, who's now up to 6th. Mercados has fallen back to 7th. Oh,
and I gotta take you away from that because we have a battle for a 3rd position with Joni Hagner, Thomas Valchik, and Reed Miller. Reed Miller and Joni Hagner, mind you, are battling for the championship. So this is actually really important for Reed to try and get his way past Joni Hagner.
See, it's the battle for 4th in class.
Valchik is just corking the bottle right now, and Reed is going to be scrapping to get by him as best he can. Looks like Reed taking the corner a little bit too hot, has to get out of it a bit, but Valchik doing a good job of holding it all together right now.
There's Hagner's car involved in that incident. Not sure if he took any damage. Valchik doing his best he can to hang in there.
And it looks like Reed's just a little bit too far back, but here comes the longest straight. So if Reed can get a good shot off, he'll be able to do it. Valchik looks like he slips his tires a little bit, and so that's going to give Reed Miller a good run.
Love that camera shot. You see him go down into the depth. through Clark's curve, and now they head to the technical section of the track.
Now take a look at that. Valchik is just a little bit tight on exit, and he's taking very shallow lines, which is compounding the problem. That allows Reed Miller to get good runs off the corner, but Valchik is doing just enough to stay ahead of Reed, and Joni Heiner's starting to snake away. Now they have Justin Albrecht, the leader, coming through.
He gets 2.
Oh, but he goes extremely wide.
Yeah, and Albrecht's got to be careful because little by little, Gerber's been gaining on him. The gap is now 3.4. It continues to shrink. He's knocked a second off this time. I'm talking about Gerber and Albrecht. Albrecht gets Hagner.
And here comes Gerber coming through. He's going to try and do something here. Not into the hairpin, so he's going to get trapped here. And that's going to allow Reed Miller to come back out to the outside. Gerber's going to get held up here.
He takes it down onto the inside, gets around Miller. Woo! Now he's on the go. He's got places to go. He gets 2. He's got to get Hagner next. But the gap has opened up about a half second just from that traffic. Gerber should be able to get Hagner before Clark's curve. He comes in there. He's going to take it in deep. Under braking, it gets it done. That's going to slow Hagner up a little bit.
And I'd like to take us away from this and go down to P6 in the GTPs. We have Lost Olson, Nick Pucanos, and Nicholas Morelli battling for position right now.
Olson has just been keeping it clean, picking up positions from drivers that are off in the grass. Mercanos has had his certain incidents all race long, and Morelli doing a good run, up 2 spots, watching. Olson, the driver that was not able to put in a qualifying time, started 13th at the back of the GTPs.
Oh, look at this. Nicholas Pucanos getting a good run through the corner. He's going to have good speed off this, but we know he's got damage, so how much is that going to affect him in the pole down to the next corner? Oh, man, they're very close.
Love that camera shot as we ride off the back of Olson.
Looks like Pucanos is just struggling a little bit through this middle section. He's got the last and the first sectors down, but it's this middle sector where he struggles, and that allows Nicholas Morelli to get right on him.
Stay on this battle a little bit. I'll tell you, there's beginning to heat up in the beginning of the front of the GTOs. There is the Lake and Hall. The 2 teammates are within a second now.
Oh, never mind. I was gonna. Reed Miller is really trying to get past Thomas Valchik right now, and it's starting to get desperate for Valchik.
Yeah, Miller's got to be frustrated as he might have the pace to stay with Hagner, but Hagner, you can see the car just going by your screen right now, the gap that he's put on ahead of Valchik.
Yeah, Miller's going to have to do something desperate here to get by Valchik because he's losing a ton of time to his championship rivals, so it's one of those move or be moved situations, I think, for Reed.
Action throughout the entire racetrack.
Oh.
A spin from Morelli. He was the 3rd car in line. We were watching the Olson-Mercanos battle. Morelli was doing his best to stay with him.
Oh my goodness. It looks like he just came unsettled as his left tires got onto that rumble strip, and that is what upset him.
So with that, let's go back to Olson right now in that battle as they work around Pablo Rangel. Olson going to take a dive down into Druids. That's not going to happen. Now look at this. They've caught up to Johnny Bell. Bell's held up by Distillery here. Bell does not able to get the power down, gets a horrible exit out of that corner, and now we got a nice 3-car battle for 5th. Bell able to get around him. Olson goes through.
Oh, Bell went way wide.
Oh, horrible exit there. He's going to be a sitting duck going down into Clark's corner. Olson with a run. Does he force the issue? He does not.
Yeah, Bill, everyone's really pushing it right now. I mean, We're only halfway through this race, and I'm seeing people push it like it's the last laps around here. It just shows you how important track position is, and the opportunity to make a pass is so tantalizing that these guys are pushing their cars so hard.
It is impossible to tell who has pace and who doesn't. You see the gap up there at the very top on your tower there between Albrecht and Gerber. That shrinks anywhere from 2.5 to like 6.5 seconds, depending on the traffic they get to.
Oh, and I can report that Reed Miller has gotten around Thomas Valchik. It just happened just a couple of corners ago.
Yeah. He waited and waited. He got him out of the final corner. It was a mistake on the main straight, heading to the main straight from Thomas Valchik. And, yeah, we're going to see it coming up here. Now, watch on the right-hander that sets up down the main straight. Valchik goes really wide, has no corner exit speed, and really is a sitting duck for his teammates.
Yeah, Valchik has just been struggling a little bit with consistency, especially on shifting. He's missed a couple of shifts, and he went wide there, and while we've been watching this replay, he's missed a couple of shifts, so he's a little flustered under the bonnet right now.
4.6 seconds is the gap between Hogner and Miller. They race in the championship together. Now look at this. The two teammates, Lake and Hall, are within, it's under a second now.
Oh, and we just had an incident in the back of the Audi GTO field. Lucio Distillery and Pablo Rangel just got together, going through one of the corners on the back end of the course.
They touched, and then they touched again because they didn't get it right the first time. There we go. A little door-to-door contact, and then they did it one more time.
And we just had a wreck between Lars Olsen and Nick Makanos.
Makanos got another one.
Having the worst race of his life today.
This is not like him at all. So both those guys tried to negotiate their way back onto the track. They did not lose a spot. Fabian Gerber was able to get around. If we stay here a little bit, I'm not sure. There goes our leader. That's Albrecht going around. And
yeah,
Makanos comes around too.
Makanos just outbraked himself and got into the back of Lost Olsen, it looks like.
You know what? You can see right there that he actually didn't get him. A little bit of net go. So Makanos is going to get a pass on that one. Lake and Hall.
Yeah, these two have been chasing down each other. Jamie Hall doing an excellent job of catching up to Phil Lake. He's struggling a bit on getting the turn in now. His set's a little bit tighter than Phil Lake, so he puts a lot more pressure on those front tires, and it's starting to show. But Phil Lake being consistent out front, but we know how loose Phil's sets are, so that's making things very difficult for him.
Now remember, Hall was in front of Lake and had good pace. The only reason that Lake was able to get around was the incident that happened in front of him. And Lake was able to shoot through while Hall was much slower on the track. So this will be a good battle here. They got plenty of time to sort this out. Still, just a tick under 15 minutes of racing to go. The gap for the GTPs are holding at about 6 seconds. I don't think that Fabian Gerber is going to have anything for him. And honestly, everybody just kind of gets sorted out in that class.
Oh, Phil Lake just went a little bit deep there into the corner. He gets a little bit neutral on braking, slides a little bit. That gives Jamie Hall a really good opportunity to close up. You know, I know these two are teammates, but Jamie Hall is racing his heart out right now. He's not looking like he's going to just let Phil get away with this win.
Yeah, well, Hall thinks he deserves to be in front of Lake right now. It's not his fault that he's back there. And second, he had to take evasive action to avoid an incident in front of him, and Lake just scooted right through. Hall wants it back. They have a comfortable lead over Hogner, who has no chance to get there unless these two get together.
Right behind Hogner, Reed Miller and Thomas Valchik are not done yet. The two of them are right together. It looks like Valchik might be looking for a pass.
Volchek made the mistake going onto the front straight that allowed Miller to get around him. Volchek wants it back. I don't think they have the pace to get to Hagner. This is a good battle. Coming up now, this is our GTP leader going through.
Oh, man.
He gets it done, but look how that's going to check up. That's going to check up Miller, and that's going to give Volchek a chance. As Volchek tries to go to the outside, not going to happen. He'll have a good corner exit, though. He's right there. Watch that number 14 as he closes up right behind the 15 of Miller. It won't be long. Here comes Suarez.
Miller blows
Miller
it.
makes a mistake in the same corner that Volchek made a mistake a few laps earlier.
What irony is that? Volchek and Miller making the same mistake, and oh my goodness, they're just going to blow straight by these GTO backmarkers.
Robbie does a good job of getting out of the way, as does Nico Avamili.
Woo! Thomas went wide.
Here comes Gerber.
I don't know if Reed or Tomas are looking in their rearview mirrors, but they're going to need to because Fabian Gerber's coming through right now.
Gerber blows by him.
Well, that opens the door.
Yeah. It opened the door for Miller. Miller had to leave room for Gerber. Let me say the Volchek had to leave room for Gerber, and Miller almost got in there to steal this position.
Looks like whoever is ahead in this battle seems to be going a little bit too deep into the corners. Volchek now falling prey to that as well. But look at this. Miller's struggling to let these GTPs by, and that's going to allow Volchek to go forward.
It's been a quiet run for Johnny Bell. He's that GTP driver now, up 4 spots as he negotiates around Volchek. He already got Miller. Here comes 2 more prototypes. Nissan's coming through. Morelli coming through.
Oh, no!
And he got him.
Reed Miller breaks in the grass and spins out. He does not hit the wall, but that's going to destroy his opportunity at Volchek, and that's going to really hurt his points.
Leaving room for the 2 prototypes of Morelli and Imola. Iloma goes through safely.
You know, there's a point where you leave too much room, and that was what Reed Miller did right there.
Well, he was dealing with a lot of things there. He was trying to go as fast as he could to stay on the back of Volchek. Prototypes were coming left and right.
Now we're back up at the lead, looking at Phil Lake and Jamie Hall. Jamie's still pressuring Phil. I mean, these teammates are not letting anything go to chance. They're really duking it out right now.
It's all about when the traffic gets there. Here comes the second GTP. This is Fabian Gerber. Gerber can afford to be patient. He really doesn't have a chance to get up to Albrecht.
Oh! Oh, man, that's close.
He goes underneath Lake. Is that going to hurt Lake's straight speed? I don't think so. I think Lake's going to be able to hang on. Next one up will be the driver racing in 4th, Suarez. I'm looking for Krajcik. What happened to Krajcik? Was in 3rd.
He's still in 3rd. Okay, it's just the pace is so great from Albrecht and Gerber that they've put almost a minute on Martin Krajcik.
That's what it is. That's what confused me. Suarez is in 4th, but he is a lap down.
I mean, the pace is just monumental from the top 2, as they've put everyone else down a lap except for Martin Krajcik, and they're only 5 seconds behind Krajcik on track.
Krajcik is in jeopardy of going a lap down as well. Krajcik. Iloma coming through as he gets around Hall.
Yeah, we just saw on screen. Oh my goodness, look at this! Hall blocking Iloma. Iloma trying to decide where to go. Neither of them could figure it out. And it happens again.
Iloma started on the outside of row 1, racing now in 10th. Not the race he was hoping for.
It's going to give a good opportunity for Jamie Hall in this straight.
Next prototype through, the 5th place driver, Johnny Bell.
Jamie's going to let him go, but I don't think Phil Lake is going to let him go on the inside. No, he does not. He cuts straight to the apex of that corner, forcing Johnny to hang out behind him. Johnny's not going to get a good enough run to get Phil here? No, he's not. All right, Jamie Hall just trying to sneak in behind them, trying to see whether or not Johnny's going to take away Phil's line, and he is right here.
Look how Phil tried to wait and let Bell clear him so that he could get a good exit out of that final corner to set up the back straight. It worked out okay. I don't think that Lake is going to be under jeopardy from Hall right now. And they get a bit of a reprieve from traffic. It'll be a little while before Morelli gets there. Won't be that long. He's coming.
Well, Bill, we have a little bit of a breather right now.
Oh, man, it's with all the action, we haven't done justice to what Justin Albrecht has been doing, as he has just been incredibly quick. Albrecht and Gerber, 6 seconds apart, they have just crushed the rest of the prototype, the Nissan field.
Yeah, they've crushed the entire field for sure. Justin Albrecht doing a good job of navigating all of this traffic. He's got a little bit of right wing damage on his car, but he's doing a good job overall. Fabian Gerber there in the second position, also doing a good job, but Fabian has been held up significantly by traffic over the last couple of laps, and so that's not allowed him to close the gap. We know Fabian is quick, and we've seen that Fabian might even be quicker on this track, but the traffic serving to be a problem for him today.
You're looking at Gerber. Let's go ahead and jump up to Albrecht, our leader here, because he works his way around Solbiati. And the next car in front of him, and I don't think it'll be that long to get there, Martin Kretrick. Racing in third, about to go a lap down. Oh, with just 6.5 minutes to go, I don't know if Albrecht really needs to do this, but we'll see how it plays out.
And you know, Bill, we've had a little bit of argy-bargy between Pablo Rangel and Roberto Di Filippi down in the 10th position in GTOs. Those two have been banging doors for the last couple of laps, and just in the last two corners, they were hitting doors pretty hard.
Tight confines here at Brands Hatch. Brings out the sharpness of the elbows. And to be fair to the drivers, there's just not a lot of room here.
Oh,
Every pass. Close pass.
Look at that. Rangel taking a defensive line into the hairpin, cutting off Di Filippi, and Di Filippi getting a little flustered by that. He loses a little bit of time coming through the hairpin.
They come towards you.
And this has allowed RC Diacono to close up to the back of these two as well, so they're now all about equidistant from one another.
And I can report that our GTP leader did, in fact, get a lap on Martin Kretrick, as now there are two cars on the lead lap.
Looks like RC Diacono is really closing up with these ones, and now we have Nicholas Mikanos cutting through these groups as well. We've seen RC Diacono and Nick Mikanos come together before, so good to see that those two cleared the way themselves. But RC Diacono closing up quickly to Di Filippi. Oh, he's going to get by. It looks like Di Filippi missed a shift.
He did. RC Diacono. Oh, no, but he goes deep into the corner. That gives Felipe's a chance to get there. Cannot. He's coming back, though, as they head up on the car. That is Haynes. That's not a battle for position. Look, oh, he's going to go really wide as Felipe goes wide. He's not going to get any action there.
And we got to go to the GTO lead because Phil Lake and Jamie Hall are right neck and neck with each other as they go through the first turn. We only have 4.5 minutes left to go, Joe. So, wow, Bill.
This is the closest that Jamie Hall has been to Lake for a while. It'll be a while till Laus Olsen gets to them, so these guys can fight it out. Look at the drive that Lake gets off the corner. Hall takes it in deeper. Takes a really late apex, does Hall. Hoping to make it up down the back straight. Lake begins to pull away. Hall in the tow. 4 car lengths back. 3 car lengths back. They close up under braking. They head to the technical section. It'll be hard to make a pass over here. There are a few opportunities.
But this is Jamie Hall's best up.
Going really wide was Lake. I thought he made a mistake. He gathers it up. Hall's right there. Go ahead.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, Phil Lake's car just looks extremely loose under braking. He's got that thing wound back to a lot of rear brake bias right now, and that's allowing Jamie Hall to close under braking. That's why you see Jamie taking very shallow lines into the corners. He's expecting that Phil Lake is going to lose it at some point.
Lake with a horrible apex. I think he got the right sides up on the curbs and it slowed him down. Olsen gets through. Lake is right back though. He's going to run out of time. He can try to do it under braking and the stab down here into Druids. He'll have to do a dive bomb. He's going to wait. They work their way around Michael Haynes. Should not be another prototype in the mix. These guys should be able to fight it out between themselves before the checkered flag.
These two are really duking it out. We're coming into the penultimate lap. Whenever Justin Albrecht comes across the line soon, he's going to be closing in on that final lap for him. But yeah, this battle has been going on for quite a while, and these two teammates doing a good job. We also have a battle for P5 in the GTPs as well between Johnny Bell and Nicholas Morelli. These two, also teammates, are going to be duking it out till the end of the race as well, and they're closing in on Pablo Lumbreras Suarez as well.
We'll follow all those battles. Suarez a lap down, as is Bell, as is Morelli. They almost get together in Druids. That's Scurry in the mix. Meanwhile, in the GTOs. Wow.
Here's the opportunity for Nicholas Morelli. Sorry to take you back there, but Nicholas Morelli is taking a hard look right now at Johnny Bell.
Passing opportunity into this right-hander coming up.
Oh no, there's a GTO there!
Avalomi trying to get out of the way.
He saw that coming and said, nope, I'm getting out of there. Oh my goodness, Johnny Bell going extremely wide.
You look at that battle, the GTOs are still comfortable. It's still Lake ahead of Hall.
And I can report that Justin Albrecht is on his penultimate lap. This is the lap before the white flag for him.
Let's go there right now to Albrecht because he's coming up behind the two leaders in the GTOs. He gets one.
Those are going to get tight.
Felipe ahead. Yeah, getting boxed in was Lake. Felipe takes the car wide. Oh, it scored around the outside of it was Hall. Woo! He might have left a little paint on Felipe. This is a tight fit.
Yeah, Jamie Hall just trying to squeeze his way by. I mean, he had nowhere to go. There was just everyone off track, and he just, oh my gosh, that's as close as it gets, folks.
White flag taken by Justin Albrecht.
As good as Gerber's been fighting to get there, I don't think he's going to be able to get to Justin Albrecht. Albrecht has just had the measure of Gerber all day, and even though Gerber has been faster on pace when he's had clean laps, there's not a clean lap around this track with this many cars.
You saw the banana-flavored car of Wrangel. That was a battle with Ussi Diacano. They're far down the order of battle for about 9th or 10th in class.
And this battle for P4 and the GTPs is getting spicy as they go through some lap cars here. That's Reed Miller and Franco Scurry. Reed Miller and... Oh my goodness, it gets really tight. And that's the 10th going around. The 26 of Nicholas Morelli goes around as well. And more contact. And guess who that was? Nick Ricano's getting more damage.
Morelli trying to get the car going straight. Meanwhile, the man who has dominated this race in the GTPs, Justin Albrecht, he's lapped every car except Fabian Gerber out of the final corner. Let's give round number 5 to Justin Albrecht.
And Phil Lake has been able to pull a gap on Jamie Hall, about a second, and that's going to secure him a victory. He's going to do a little power slide through the final turn. He's going to pull away a little bit from Jamie Hall, and that's going to be a win for him in the GTOs. Finally, some good luck for Phil Lake.
Gets his first win of the season. Looking for any other battles on track. There's Hogner, who's going to salvage a 3rd place for him. Not what he was looking for, but still good points anyway. Well, we told you it's going to be jam-packed full of action, and it did not disappoint. Wait, we got one more battle to watch. This fifth pace battle.
This is Reed Miller and the Okada trying to duke it out right now. Reed Miller got good gap on Franco Scurry, but he's not going to catch Leo Okada. But still, a good finish for Reed Miller considering all the chaos.
Go back a little bit farther. This is also a little battle here as we're looking at Fonseca with Pasquale. Coming out of the final corner. Fonseca has it. And he will get credited with 9th in class, with Pasquale getting 10th. And now the action is done. We knew it would be jam-packed, and it did not disappoint. We'll take a short break to catch our breath. We'll come back to run down the entire finishing order, talk to some of the drivers before we close it up here at Brands Hatch. Back in a few. You're watching GSRC. Brands Hatch, this is the Global Sim Racing Channel's Round 5 coverage of the Kamel GT Series here on the iRacing service. The results are in. Let's go ahead and give those to you right now. Well, there were two drivers that finished on the lead lap, Justin Albrecht and Fabian Gerber. They started first and third. They come home first and second. Martin Krajcik picks up 4 spots to get the final podium position. First driver 1 lap down. Pablo Lambrera Suarez is behind him with Johnny Bell riding at your top 5. Then the rest of the drivers. Here's a driver, just want to forget this race. Just move on, put this one behind you. Don't even need to watch the broadcast. Nicholas Makanos gets 6th position, not the race he wanted. Nicholas Morelli right behind him. The Swedish driver of Laus Olsen comes home in 8th, just ahead of Donald Peak. And he started outside of row 1. He's going to get credited with 10 points. It's Alexei Iloma. Adam?
Phil Lake finally with some good luck in this series comes home with the win tonight. And we have Jamie Hall coming home in second. Those two evenly matched on pace around this track. Phil just getting the better of Jamie because of some damage that he got getting into Yoni Hagner early on in the race. Yoni, not the best race for him, but comes home with a 3rd place regardless. Then we have Thomas Valchik coming home in 4th place with Giosi Leocada in 5th. Reed Miller coming home in 6th place ahead of Franco Scurry. Then we have Carlos Fonseca in 7th and Remigio Di Pasqua 8th. Pablo Rangel 9th place, and we have Antonio Arcidiacono coming home in 10th. Roberto Di Filippi 11th. Simo Raba is going to come home in the 12th position with Davide Sobiati coming home in 13th, and then Michael Haynes is 14th and your final finisher today.
Attrition was everywhere, and here's the drivers that fell victim to that. Lucio Distillery is going to be farther down the order. Nico Avalomi is going to be after him. A couple GTP drivers of Tobias Gerber and Arto Iomaki well down the order with Daniel Sadro. Always fun to watch, not the race that he wanted. Robin Stevenson, Christian Scasia, Cedric Pohl, and Israel Alonso. So that wraps up your 34 cars that took the grid. We have time for interviews, and let's see who they found for me to talk to. Oh, it looks like I'm going to get the winner here in the GTOs here today. Phil, congratulations. First of all, before we talk about the win, let's talk about putting the toothpaste back in the jar there as you scooted through that incident right in front of you.
Yeah, I got pretty lucky today. I just looked back at the replay, actually, and I was really close to Nick. I didn't realize just how close it was because I just saw a lot of tire smoke and kind of hoped there was a gap, and it worked out for me today.
You were behind Jamie Hall early on. You trying to, as Hagner began to pull away, were you getting frustrated behind your teammate?
I felt faster at the start of the race, so I was trying to get past and see if I could get close to Yoni, but towards the end of the race, I definitely didn't feel faster anymore. Jamie seemed to have a lot more pace, so I was just really pushing as hard as I could to keep a gap.
It was indeed. It was very exciting at the end as you made your car as wide as you could on a skinny track. You get the win ahead of Jamie Hall. Congratulations, first one of the season.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Bill Lake, your winner here today in the GTOs in his Audi.
Yep,
And now
and
we're going to get... We'll let... go ahead, Adam.
Yeah, next up we're going to have Fabian Gerber, second place in the GTPs. Fabian, looks like you had some good pace today, but looks like the traffic was just playing not in your favor today.
Yeah, you analyzed this absolutely perfectly. That's my race. We had about the same speed, Justin, Alexia, and myself, and it was just about traffic. Who has more luck in traffic? And I'm very sorry to what happened to Alexi. I thought he was going outside to the turn to overtake the Audi, but then he suddenly came to the inside. But we didn't even touch. It was net code in the end. But yeah, it sort of looked for him, of course, like I punted him, but I didn't really.
Yeah, the invisible pit box, the invisible hitbox of the Nissan strikes again, unfortunately. But Fabian, as you were catching up to Albrecht, you saw that you had pace on him, but what was it about the traffic today that made it so difficult?
Probably because everyone behaves differently. Some leave you through there, some leave you through there, and some you know, some you don't. So you never really know what to do, and you need to be careful. Otherwise, you sooner or later end up in a crash with an Audi. So you have to be careful, and if you catch them in the wrong place, it's just impossible to not lose time or not lose much time. So it's just a question of luck where you hit them.
Well, going into the next race, you've got a decent battle going on with Justin for points. What are you looking forward to next week?
I don't know which track it is. I have to see.
Interlagos.
Interlagos. Okay, nice. I'm one of the few people who likes Interlagos actually, and it should be good for me. I just need to work on my qualifying to beat Justin in qualifying. So it's like today, if I had pole position, it's half the win, and you just need to go through traffic clean, and so that's a win. And it's going to be not the same in Interlagos, but I need to work on my qualifying, so to beat Justin.
Well, it's great talking to you again, Fabian. I look forward to seeing you at my favorite track, Interlagos.
Nice. See you next week. Bye-bye.
See you, Fabian. All right, that was Fabian Gerber, second place in the GTPs today.
Interlagos will be a completely different animal than what we saw here today at Brands Hatch. Lots of great passing opportunities. It's a fast track. It'll be fun. Hey, let's thank everybody in the Kamel forums that organized this series and contract with GSRC to broadcast, and we appreciate it. Thanks to the companies that provide the software and hardware for our broadcast listed on the screen. Additional thanks to June Alon, who provides the wonderful music. See the screen to how to get a hold of more of her great work. Thanks to the team today. That would be, myself and, of course, Adam, Amjed, and Dougie. I'll thank myself. If you'd like to find out more about GSRC, including the upcoming races, you can find it at globalsimracingchannel.com, or you can check it out on social media. We got 3 options for you. Twitter at GSR Channel, Facebook at Global Sim Racing Channel, and Instagram at GSRC_Graham. Next up for Kamel, we just talked about it. Get ready for some Bossa Nova because we're going down south to Brazil. It's Interlagos, October 19th, 1 p.m. Eastern. We'll be there. We hope you join us. If you also want to know about some upcoming broadcasts, you can see them on the screen right now and mark them down on your calendar. And now it's time for us to have fun storming the castle. So until next time, race clean, race hard, and we'll see you on the track.